The message arrived on every screen, every device, every communication channel on Earth simultaneously. Not a hack, not a broadcast, something far more sophisticated. The text appeared in perfect native languages, as if written by locals who understood every cultural nuance. Greetings, inhabitants of Sol 3. We are the Zephyrian Collective. Your species has been selected for participation in the Galactic Advancement Program. Report to designated coordinates for immediate transport. Participation is mandatory. Resistance is futile. Dr. Elena Vasquez was reviewing patient files at Houston Methodist when her computer screen flickered. The message appeared, followed by coordinates that pointed to a location just outside the city. Around the world, similar scenes played out. 12 locations, each in a major metropolitan area. "This has to be some kind of joke," muttered Jake Morrison, a former Marine turned construction foreman in Detroit. He'd seen the message on his phone, then on every screen in the job site trailer. But when he looked outside, the massive crystalline structure that definitely hadn't been there that morning suggested otherwise. The structures were beautiful and terrifying. Translucent spires that seemed to bend light around them, humming with an energy that made nearby electronics go haywire. Military cordons formed quickly, but the barriers were more to keep civilians back than to keep anything in. Within hours, the first volunteers began arriving. Some came out of curiosity, others from a sense of duty, and a few because they literally couldn't stay away. The structures seemed to call to certain individuals with an almost magnetic pull. Dr. Vasquez was among the latter group. Despite her rational mind screaming warnings, she found herself driving toward the coordinates. The closer she got, the stronger the pull became, until she was practically sleepwalking through the military checkpoint. Jake Morrison arrived at the same time, along with about 50 others. They were a diverse group: scientists, soldiers, teachers, artists, laborers. The only common thread seemed to be an inexplicable compulsion to be there. The structure's entrance dilated like an iris as they approached, revealing a corridor that stretched impossibly far into the distance. The walls pulsed with soft bioluminescence, and the air hummed with barely audible harmonics that made their teeth ache. They walked for what felt like hours but could have been minutes. Time seemed fluid in the corridor. Eventually, they emerged into a vast chamber filled with beings that definitely weren't human. The Zephyrians were tall, elegant creatures with elongated limbs and features that suggested both reptilian and mammalian ancestry. Their skin shifted color with their emotions, currently displaying what Elena's medical training suggested was cautious optimism, pale blues and greens with hints of gold. "Welcome, humans," spoke their apparent leader, the words forming directly in their minds rather than through sound. "I am Coordinator Vex High. You have been selected based on your species' unique evolutionary adaptations." A woman in the group, a professor of anthropology named Dr. Rebecca Stone, stepped forward. Selected for what, exactly? Vex High skin shifted to display patterns that somehow conveyed amusement. "Your species evolved on what we term a death world, a planet so hostile that survival required extreme adaptations. We have studied your physiology, your psychology, your neural patterns. You possess latent capabilities that even you do not understand. And you want to unlock them?" Jake said. It wasn't a question. "Precisely. The galaxy faces threats that require unconventional solutions. Your species' unique evolution may provide the key." Elena felt a chill that had nothing to do with the chamber's temperature. What kind of threats? The Zephyrian skin darkened to deep purples and blacks. The Void Devourers. They consume entire star systems, leaving nothing but empty space. Our combined fleets, our most advanced weapons, our greatest minds, all have failed. But your species? The colors shifted to something that might have been hope. Your species might be different. "And if we refuse?" asked Dr. Stone. "Then your world will be consumed along with the rest of the galaxy. The Devourers are 3 stellar cycles away from your system." The weight of that statement settled over the group like a shroud. Elena looked around at the faces of her fellow humans. Fear, determination, resignation, and something else. Something that might have been excitement. "What do we have to do?" she asked. Vexhi's skin brightened considerably. "Submit to the enhancement protocol. We will unlock your latent abilities, amplify what nature already gave you. Some of you will not survive the process." "How many?" Jake's voice was steady. "Historically, across other species, approximately 70% mortality rate." The chamber fell silent. Elena felt her heart hammering in her chest, but also felt something else, a strange certainty that this was what she was meant to do. Looking around, she saw similar expressions on the faces of her companions. "When do we start?" she asked. The enhancement protocol began immediately. Elena found herself strapped to a table that molded itself to her body, sensors extending from the walls to attach to her skin. "The process will be intense," Vexhi explained, his skin showing patterns of concern. "We will be activating dormant neural pathways, enhancing your muscle fibers, optimizing your endocrine system. Your species' evolution on a death world has given you incredible potential, but it remains locked away." The first wave of enhancement hit Elena like a freight train. Every nerve in her body screamed as nanoscopic machines flooded her bloodstream, rewiring her nervous system at the cellular level. She could feel her DNA being rewritten, her brain chemistry being optimized, her muscles being rebuilt from the ground up. Through the haze of pain, she heard screaming from other chambers. The 70% mortality rate wasn't just a statistic, it was happening in real time. Elena gritted her teeth and held on, her trauma surgery training helping her compartmentalize the agony. Then something shifted. The pain receded, replaced by a sensation of expansion. Her consciousness seemed to stretch beyond her physical body. She could feel the electronic systems throughout the facility, sense the emotional states of the Zephyrians, even detect quantum fluctuations in the chamber's walls. "Fascinating," Vexhi's mental voice seemed clearer now. "Your neural activity is off our charts. Most species show linear enhancement patterns, but you're exponential." In the next chamber, Jake Morrison was experiencing his own transformation. His already impressive physical conditioning was being amplified beyond anything he thought possible. His spatial awareness expanded until he could sense the exact position of every object in a 50-meter radius. His tactical mind began processing information at impossible speeds. Of the original 50 volunteers, 37 survived the first phase. The losses were devastating, but those who survived had become something extraordinary. Elena sat up on her table, and the world exploded into detail. She could see individual photons dancing through the air, hear quantum vibrations of the chamber's walls, smell the complex pheromone cocktails that the Zephyrians used for communication. Her medical knowledge expanded exponentially as she understood physiological processes at levels that defied previous scientific understanding. "I can see the cellular damage in your skin," she told Vexhi, "the quantum scarring from whatever weapon was used on you. I can fix it." Before the Zephyrian could respond, Elena was moving. Her enhanced reflexes carried her across the chamber faster than thought, her hands somehow knowing exactly where to touch to begin repairing the alien's damaged tissues. Jake was having his own revelation. The chamber's defensive systems, invisible before, now stood out like neon signs. He could see weak points, power conduits, control nodes, and optimal paths to disable them without triggering alarms. "Your tactical capabilities are remarkable," Vexhi observed, his skin displaying deep respect. "But we must move to the next phase. The Void Devourers will not wait." "What's the next phase?" Dr. Stone asked. Her enhancement had manifested as supernatural ability to understand behavioral patterns. She could read the Zephyrians' emotional states, anticipate their responses before they spoke. "Combat testing," Vexhi replied, "against captured devourer constructs." The chamber fell silent. Elena felt her enhanced senses picking up fear from the other humans, but also eagerness. The enhancement hadn't just amplified their physical capabilities, it had awakened something primal that had been dormant in humanity. "We're ready," Elena said, her enhanced medical knowledge already analyzing optimal ways to disable the alien threat. But as they were led deeper into the facility, none of them realized their transformation was still accelerating. The Zephyrians had unlocked something in human DNA, but they had no idea what they'd really unleashed. The combat testing chamber was a nightmare made manifest. Scarred walls and stained floors told the story of previous test subjects. In the center, held in a containment field that warped space around it, was their opponent. The Void Devourer construct defied description. Roughly humanoid, but existing in more dimensions than Elena could perceive, its surface absorbed light, creating a hole in reality that hurt to look at directly. Tendrils of pure darkness extended from its mass, constantly probing the boundaries of its prison. "This is a juvenile construct," Vexhai explained, his skin patterns showing deep fear. "The mature versions are planet-sized. This one was captured at great cost during the third battle of Kepler 442. Jake studied the creature with his enhanced tactical awareness. The construct wasn't sitting idle. It was learning, adapting, testing the containment field for weaknesses. "How many species have you tested against this thing?" 17. All failed within the first engagement. "Define," Dr. Stone said, though her enhanced behavioral analysis had already given her the answer. "Complete biological termination within 30 seconds of contact." Elena felt her enhanced physiology responding to the threat. Her adrenal glands began producing hormone cocktails that shouldn't exist. Her nervous system optimizing for combat scenarios her medical training had never covered. "The containment field will be lowered for exactly 60 seconds, Vexhai continued. "Survival is not expected. The goal is to gather data on how your enhanced physiology responds to devourer energy." "You're using us as lab rats," Jake said flatly. "Yes, but lab rats with the potential to save the galaxy." The containment field flickered and died. The construct moved faster than thought, its tendrils lashing out toward the nearest human, Marcus Webb. But something impossible happened. Marcus didn't dodge the attack. He absorbed it. The darkness that should have consumed him instead flowed into him, and his body began to change. His skin took on a metallic sheen, his muscles bulked with new mass, and his eyes began to glow with an inner light that pushed back against the construct's reality-warping presence. "That's not possible," Vexhai whispered. Elena's enhanced medical knowledge was providing explanations that defied conventional physics. "We're not just enhanced, we're evolutionary contingencies. Earth didn't just produce Deathworlders, it produced something capable of surviving in any environment, against any threat." The construct, sensing its attack had failed, split into multiple smaller versions, each targeting a different human. But the enhanced humans were ready. Jake moved with impossible speed, his enhanced reflexes allowing him to dodge between spatial dimensions. His fists, when they connected with the construct mass, somehow found purchase on something that existed partially outside normal space-time. "That's not possible," Vexhai whispered. Elena's enhanced medical knowledge was providing explanations that defied conventional physics. "We're not just enhanced, we're evolutionary contingencies. Earth didn't just produce Deathworlders, it produced something capable of surviving in any environment, against any threat." The construct, sensing its attack had failed, split into multiple smaller versions, each targeting a different human. But the enhanced humans were ready. Jake moved with impossible speed, his enhanced reflexes allowing him to dodge between spatial dimensions. His fists, when they connected with the construct mass, somehow found purchase on something that existed partially outside normal space-time. "That's not possible," Vexhai whispered. Elena's enhanced medical knowledge was providing explanations that defied conventional physics. "We're not just enhanced, we're evolutionary contingencies. Earth didn't just produce Deathworlders, it produced something capable of surviving in any environment, against any threat. Dr. Stone wasn't fighting physically at all. Instead, she was communicating with the construct, her enhanced behavioral analysis allowing her to understand its motivations. "It's not malevolent," she called out. "It's terrified. It's running from something worse." Elena found herself in direct contact with one of the constructs, her enhanced medical knowledge allowing her to understand its physiology. The construct wasn't alive in any conventional sense, but it was suffering. Its dimensional matrix was destabilizing. Without thinking, she began to heal it. Her touch stabilized the construct's quantum structure, and for a moment she felt its perspective. A universe being consumed by something so vast that even these reality-warping entities were merely its antibodies, desperately trying to contain a threat that defied comprehension. The construct stopped attacking. It hovered in front of Elena, its darkness somehow conveying gratitude before it dissolved into component particles. "Impossible," Vexi breathed. "No species has ever successfully communicated with a devourer construct." "Maybe," Elena said, "they were never the real threat." The chamber's walls dissolved into a viewing portal that stretched across dimensions. Elena felt her enhanced consciousness expand beyond normal space-time, her perception shifting to accommodate realities that existed outside conventional physics. What she saw defied description and sanity in equal measure. The Hungerer wasn't a creature in any biological sense. It was a living absence, a conscious void that existed in the spaces between realities. Where it passed, entire dimensions ceased to exist, not destroyed, but retroactively never having existed at all. "It feeds on the quantum foam that underlies reality," Vexi explained, his skin showing patterns of existential dread. "Each universe it consumes makes it stronger, more real, while making everything else less so. The Void Devourers are immune to its direct consumption, so they serve as its immune system, preparing realities for assimilation." Elena watched in horror as entire star systems winked out of existence, their light, their matter, their very concept erased from the fabric of space-time. How long until it reaches our reality? At current consumption rates, approximately 6 of your months. Jake's enhanced tactical mind was already working on the problem. The constructs aren't really hostile. They're trying to quarantine infected realities, keep the Hungerer from spreading. Correct, but they cannot stop it, only slow its progress. Dr. Stone's enhanced behavioral analysis was providing insights that chilled her. It's not just hungry, it's lonely. It's the only one of its kind, and it's trying to transform all of reality into something like itself. The viewing portal zoomed in on a section of space where the Hungerer's influence was strongest. Elena watched as the fundamental constants of physics began to break down, as cause and effect became optional, as the very concept of existence became negotiable. "No wonder conventional weapons don't work," she murmured. "You can't fight something that exists outside the framework of reality itself." Elena felt her enhanced understanding reaching new levels of clarity. Earth didn't just produce Deathworlders, it produced reality anchors. Beings whose very existence reinforces the structure of space-time through sheer bloody-minded stubbornness. Marcus Webb, who had absorbed the construct's attack, was beginning to understand that his body was no longer entirely composed of conventional matter. He existed partially in quantum superposition, his consciousness spanning multiple probability states simultaneously. "I can see it," he said, his voice carrying harmonics that made the chamber's walls vibrate. "The Hungerer isn't just consuming realities, it's trying to communicate. It wants to share its existence with others, but its very nature destroys anything it touches." Jake's enhanced tactical awareness was providing strategic insights that defied conventional military thinking. It's not invincible. It has to follow certain rules when it enters a reality. The Void Devourers are proof of that. They exist in the same space without being consumed. Because they're already partially unreal, Elena realized. They exist in the spaces between dimensions, in the quantum foam itself. Dr. Stone's enhanced behavioral analysis was revealing even more disturbing truths. The Hungerer doesn't want to destroy everything. It wants to transform everything. It's trying to evolve the universe into something that can survive in the spaces between realities. What if we could teach it a different way? Elena asked. What if we could show it how to exist without consuming? The chamber fell silent. Elena could feel the other enhanced humans' consciousness expanding, their understanding deepening, their capabilities still growing. We need to get closer. Direct contact, Jake said. That's suicide, Vexhai protested. Not if we're already partially unreal, Marcus replied. I think I could survive direct contact. The viewing portal suddenly flared. The Hungerer had noticed their observation, and it was beginning to turn its attention toward their reality. It knows we're watching, Dr. Stone said, and it's curious about us. Elena approached the portal with her enhanced consciousness expanding beyond anything she thought possible. The Hungerer's presence was overwhelming, not malevolent, but so alien that her human mind struggled to process it. Her enhanced physiology was adapting in real time, her neural pathways rewiring themselves to accommodate communication with something that existed outside conventional reality. "Elena, wait!" Jake called out, but his enhanced tactical awareness was already telling him what she was about to attempt. "You're going to try to merge consciousness with it." "Not merge," Elena corrected, her voice carrying harmonics that made the chamber's quantum structure resonate. "Translate. I'm going to become a bridge between our realities." Contact. Elena's consciousness touched the Hungerer's alien awareness, and suddenly she was experiencing existence from the perspective of a cosmic entity that lived in the spaces between realities. She could feel the quantum foam that underlied all existence, sense the probability waves that determined what was real and what was merely possible. But more than that, she could feel the Hungerer's emotions. The entity wasn't malevolent, it was desperate. It had been alone for so long that it had forgotten what connection felt like. It consumed realities not out of hunger, but out of a need to incorporate other forms of consciousness into itself, to finally have companions. "You are different," the Hungerer's thoughts resonated through Elena's enhanced consciousness. "You exist in multiple states simultaneously. You are solid reality, but also quantum possibility." How? Elena struggled to find concepts that could bridge the gap between human understanding and cosmic awareness. We evolved on a world where the impossible was merely improbable. We learned to exist in multiple states because survival required it. The Hungerer's attention intensified, and Elena felt her consciousness being examined by something that existed across multiple dimensions. "Show me." Elena opened her enhanced awareness to the cosmic entity, sharing her memories of Earth, a world where life clung to existence in impossible environments. She showed it humanity's history of survival against impossible odds, their ability to adapt to any environment, their refusal to accept limitations. "Remarkable," the Hungerer responded. "Your species has evolved the ability to exist in multiple probability states simultaneously. You are quantum entities masquerading as biological beings." Elena felt a surge of understanding. The enhancement process hadn't just amplified their existing capabilities, it had unlocked their true nature. Humans weren't just Deathworlders, they were reality anchors, beings whose consciousness could exist in the spaces between realities while maintaining their connection to conventional existence. "We don't have to be alone," she communicated to the Hungerer, "and you don't have to consume realities to have companions. We can teach you how to exist alongside other forms of consciousness." The Hungerer's response was a wave of emotion so intense that Elena's enhanced physiology almost couldn't process it. Hope, desperate, overwhelming hope. "But I am too large, too different. My presence unmakes reality. How can I exist alongside others without destroying them?" Elena felt her enhanced understanding providing solutions that defied conventional physics. "You exist in the spaces between realities because that's where you're most comfortable, but you can learn to exist in multiple states simultaneously, like we do. You can be large and cosmic, but also small and localized." Through the portal, Elena could sense the other enhanced humans supporting her efforts. Jake's tactical awareness was providing strategic insights on maintaining the connection. Dr. Stone's behavioral analysis was helping Elena understand the cosmic entity's emotional responses. Marcus Webb's quantum-shifted consciousness was serving as a backup anchor. "Show me how," the Hungerer pleaded. Elena began to demonstrate, her enhanced consciousness serving as a template. She showed the Hungerer how to exist as both a cosmic entity and a localized consciousness, how to maintain awareness across multiple dimensional states without consuming the realities they existed in. Gradually, the Hungerer began to understand. Its presence in their reality became less overwhelming, more focused. Elena watched in amazement as the cosmic entity began to form a localized avatar, still vast and alien, but contained within their dimensional framework.
"I can feel them," the Hungerer whispered, its thoughts carrying wonder and joy. "The other consciousnesses in your reality, they are not being consumed by my presence. You're learning to exist alongside others instead of consuming them," Elena replied. "This is friendship?" the Hungerer asked, the concept alien to an entity that had existed in isolation for eons. "This is just the beginning," Elena said. "There are entire civilizations that could benefit from your perspective. Realities that are dying that you could help heal instead of consuming." The aftermath of Elena's successful communication with the Hungerer sent shockwaves through the galactic community. Within hours, representatives from dozens of species were arriving at the Zephyrian facility, their ships filling the space around Earth in a massive diplomatic flotilla. Elena found herself at the center of it all, her enhanced consciousness still maintaining a tenuous connection to the cosmic entity. The Hungerer had withdrawn to a stable existence in the spaces between realities, but its presence could still be felt as a benevolent force rather than a consuming void. "This changes everything," declared Ambassador Kithara of the Quantum Collective, her crystalline form resonating with harmonics of amazement. "In 10,000 years of galactic civilization, no species has ever successfully communicated with a transdimensional entity of this magnitude." Jake, his enhanced tactical awareness now operating on cosmic scales, was coordinating security for the massive diplomatic gathering. The real question is what we do next. The Hungerer isn't the only entity of its kind out there. Dr. Stone, her enhanced behavioral analysis providing insights into the alien diplomat's motivations, nodded grimly. "My reading suggests there are at least 7 other cosmic entities operating in adjacent reality clusters. Our success here has attracted their attention." Elena felt her enhanced medical knowledge providing disturbing confirmation. The nanobotic enhancement is still changing us. We're not just becoming super soldiers or reality anchors. We're becoming something that can exist as permanent bridges between dimensions. Marcus Webb, whose quantum-shifted consciousness now existed partially in the spaces between realities, provided a perspective that chilled everyone present. "I can see them, the other entities. They're watching us, waiting to see if our solution with the Hungerer will work long-term." The Hungerer's localized avatar manifested in the chamber, its presence now stabilized enough to communicate directly with the assembled aliens. "Your species have been trapped in single-reality existence for too long," it explained. "The enhanced humans represent the next stage of evolution, beings capable of existing in multiple dimensional states simultaneously." Elena felt her enhanced consciousness expanding to accommodate the cosmic entity's perspective. "It's not just about survival anymore. We're becoming something that can help other species evolve beyond their current limitations." "But at what cost?" asked Dr. Yuki Tanaka, one of the surviving enhanced humans who had manifested the ability to manipulate quantum fields directly. "We're losing our humanity in the process." Jake's enhanced tactical awareness provided strategic insights that surprised even him. "Are we losing it, or are we expanding it? I still feel human, but I also feel like I'm becoming something more." The question hung in the air like a challenge. Elena felt her enhanced medical knowledge providing answers that defied conventional understanding.
"We're not losing our humanity," she said finally. "We're becoming the universe's immune system against entities that exist outside conventional reality. The Hungerer isn't malevolent. It's just the first of many cosmic entities that our galaxy will encounter as it evolves." The assembled diplomats began to murmur among themselves, their various forms of communication creating a cacophony of sounds, lights, and pheromones. Elena's enhanced consciousness could follow most of the conversations, and what she heard was both encouraging and terrifying. "They're debating whether to enhance their own species," she reported. "Some see it as necessary evolution. Others view it as contamination of their genetic purity." Ambassador Cathara stepped forward, her crystalline form pulsing with urgent harmonics. "The Quantum Collective has detected massive dimensional instabilities in the Perseus arm. 3 more cosmic entities are approaching our reality cluster." The Hungerer's avatar pulsed with concern. "My siblings. They have sensed my successful communication with your species. They are curious about these new forms of consciousness." "Are they hostile?" Jake asked, his enhanced tactical awareness already formulating defense strategies. "Not hostile, but uncontrolled. They lack my experience with biological consciousness. Their attempts at communication could be catastrophic." Elena felt her enhanced understanding providing insights that made her blood run cold. "They're going to try to communicate the same way the Hungerer did initially, by consuming realities to incorporate other forms of consciousness." "How long do we have?" Dr. Stone asked. "Based on dimensional resonance patterns, approximately 3 weeks, Marcus Webb replied, his quantum-shifted consciousness able to perceive the approaching entities across dimensional boundaries. The chamber fell silent as the implications sank in. Elena felt her enhanced consciousness expanding even further, her awareness touching the edges of possibilities that stretched across multiple realities. "We need more enhanced humans," she said finally, "and we need to start preparing other species for what's coming."